So let's try drawing a ball. You'll want to take your vine charcoal. You might be tempted to sketch with the compressed charcoal pencil, but I would not recommend that. Just sketch a basic ball shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't make it too small because it'll be really hard to get in there with the charcoals. So about that size is good. Place a small oval underneath. This will be for your cast shadow. Next up, we'll switch to the compressed charcoal. We'll do this to create our shadow core. Now, before you start putting the compressed charcoal right on your drawing, it's better to get it kind of started because you might find that you've got some streaks and lines. So you want to make sure it's nice and smooth before you start doing the shadow core. Place it, and you're just going to drag it up and down and across in a curve to create that dark band through the ball. Next up, take some paper towel or an old cloth, something to smooth it out. I'm just taking paper towel and folding it into a triangle, and then I'm going to use this to smooth it out. Once I've done that, I can drag it down. This is going to be a slightly lighter, and this will be my reflected light value. And I'm going to drag it above, and this is going to be my transition zone value. So I've got those three values placed: shadow core, reflected light, and transition zone. Next up, I'm going to switch to build my lighter areas. To do that, I'm going to go back to my vine charcoal. For this part, what I want to do is to keep it really light, so I'm going to actually take my vine charcoal and create a well of it on my scratch paper. Next, I'll take paper towel, fold it to a new section so it's nice and clean. I'm going to pick up my vine charcoal, so I just have a small amount on there, and I'm going to start right above the transition zone, circling my highlight area without actually putting any charcoal on the highlight. Okay, so now I have my values placed, and I have kind of a messy side, so I need to clean that up. A few things that I can do: I've got some just loose charcoal over here, so I'm going to start by shaking that off. Next up, I'm going to do some clean erasing on the edges, so I'm going to clean erase around the side of my sphere right here. See if I can get that nice and crisp. And I made it kind of egg-shaped, so I'm going to try and back it off on this side less successfully. Okay, so you don't want to brush the crumbs off. Just take it and shake it and blow on it to get rid of the crumbs. I have some areas right here that went too dark. I'm going to use my kneaded eraser to lighten that up a bit. You might have some areas where it's pretty jumpy, like it looks kind of jumpy right here. So I'm just going to take my paper towel. I'm going to pick up some of this compressed charcoal that I have here and see if I can place it in there just to soften it up a bit. Next up, we're going to work with our cast shadow. To do this, I'm going to use the compressed charcoal. I'm going to use it on its side and just come right in here to make a nice crisp edge between the ball and the cast shadow. I don't want to put too much in here, so I'm just going to drag it around about the shape that I want, like that. Smooth it out with the paper towel. Being really careful on that edge so I keep a nice crisp edge between the sphere and the cast shadow. You don't want this to get all blended together right there. Drag this out into the shape I want. I can erase the edge if I feel like it's not really crisp and I want it to be crisper. And then it seems like it's a little bit light down here. I'm worried about losing that edge, so I'm going to use my blending stump. I'm just going to pick up some of the dark from here and then just carefully place it so that I'm just barely making it darker without smearing between the two. Okay, last up, I want to create a nice dark background to create some contrast with the light side of the ball. So I'm going to take my compressed charcoal. I want to find a nice crisp edge to it. And I'm going to start about over here, drawing with it flat and around the ball and ending about right there. That's good. I don't want it to look like a halo, so I'm going to drag it out. Notice that it's not pitch black. We don't want to go too dark with this. It just gets too messy, and also don't take it to the top of your paper. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my paper towel. I'm going to carefully smear it along that edge, not going over. I want to keep the sphere from getting fuzzy. And we'll come around on this side over here. And there you have it. When you're finished, you can take a picture and upload it and show it to me. And I can't wait to see your wonderful three-dimensional drawings of spheres.